live yet. I don't know. I think it must be
Okay.
live. All right. Welcome to a special episode of Top Deck Heroes. We're on Tuesday night this week because the debate's on Wednesday night, and we need to go. You should all be drinking during that, not streaming UFS.
I'm Canadian.
And I've
Quiet
got
you.
and I've got special guests, Team National Champions, Caught Rod Handed.
What's up, guys?
Why don't you introduce yourselves? Make sure
Who
is
first?
actually on.
You first, Rodney. You're the
Me
rod and
first.
caught rod-handed.
Sure. My name's Rodney Garland. Been playing UFS since 2013 and been teaming with Church since 2015. And
Introduce yourselves.
I'm a champion.
Make sure.
He's not wrong.
I played a bomb and a fish and somehow wound up on top.
I like it. My name's Alex Marco. I've been playing the game since 2006. This is the first time I've ever teamed with Church and Rodney, and I played Turbo Man for this event and just scorch wheeled people a lot.
And Church.
I'm Clint. Yeah, I'm Church or Clint Badger. I've been playing since like 2007, I guess, but only really at a good level since 2013, basically. And it is also my first time teaming with Marco, and it is. I've also been teaming with Rodney since 2015.
That's how that works.
And I'm a champion.
Hey,
We're all champions.
We are all actually people who have been on assets this year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. You guys actually have
Hopefully
taken
ours
away
won't be
Sean's
garbage,
title,
but we're
though,
gonna
so
try.
he's not coming back. He's not an
Oh.
asset champion anymore.
Am I the new co-host? That's awesome.
Oh, cool. I'll watch the show now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
He will come back. I'd actually like you. But
I think we're tilting Broberg already, guys.
no, like I did not like I was really tired before the show, but now I'm getting into it, so it's cool.
All right. All good.
That awkward silence as I take a drink of water. It's refreshing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sorry.
So you want to talk team strategy because you guys are team champions. You know, how did you come up with your team of Rico, Kim, and Turbo Man?
So Church, you're the team leader. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I guess this started back when DeForester was legal. We were determined to play Turbo Man DeForester on the team. And at first
Good
I built
choice.
it, and hey, it turns out it's a good deck. I don't know if anyone else determined such a thing. And I said, I want to play this deck. I really like drawing cards. And then Marco played it, and he's like, I'm going to play this deck. I really like killing people. And I said, that's fine. I'll play Athena with assets. And so I brought that to Atlanta, tried it out, forgot how to play some abilities, got wrecked, but also did good. And then,
That was a fun deck.
you know, DeForester kind of got, axed, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, same.
That was earned, yeah. So Marco still kept playing Turbo Man. Good on ya. It worked pretty well.
Yeah.
So I was completely out in the dark as to what to play for another deck. Rodney was, I think, still on Bomb Man at that point. I'm not really sure. We
Yeah, I
were
think
kind of
so.
waffling. Yeah, it's still a good deck, We just doesn't have Showdown to make sure that it doesn't drop dead when your opponent plays a single caught red-handed.
Yeah, I was leaning between Bomb Man and Napalm Man at the time, and then much like with Turbo Man being thefted from Church decided to revisit a Rikuo deck that we were building with Assassination Attempt, and I said, that looks good, I'm going to steal it from you. So both of our decks got stolen from Church's back
Yup.
pocket.
That's where we get the team name from.
Yeah, caught rod-handed, I stole the fish. That's actually where it came from.
So I just went back to Kim, because you know what, it worked before, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I chose the order version because it's like one turn faster than the water version, but much less reliable, because I'm a real man.
Yeah,
And I guess
I
it
know.
worked.
I feel like you almost innovated putting improved design in Kim. Not a lot of people were doing that until I think did you win a PPC?
Okay,
Did
see
you,
Rodney
like, second
laughing
PPC?
over there? Rodney...
Why don't
It
you
was
tell
Rodney's
that story?
idea.
No,
it wasn't
that was
Rodney's
my-
idea. Why don't you tell that tale, Church?
Oh, without a doubt. So this was, it may have been on the last show that I was on, when I talked about Kim. It was in the morning of Nashville PTC, where I just threw the deck together, because we were determined that we were going to run Kim for the team in Worlds with Rodney and Brian. So I'll just run it at the PTC, figure out how it goes, and then we'll go from there. It turned out I won, but, whatever. So we're throwing it together the morning of the event, and I already had a water deck on me, so I already had most of these cards. And I'm like just net decking Dan Hughes because I want to get this out as fast as possible. And I'm looking at my phone, looking at what I have, and I'm like, 4 improved design. That seems crazy. I'll run like 2, and then I finish the deck, and I go down like, you don't have design for combat. And then halfway through, I realized, oh, I'm just kind of dyslexic, and that was designed for combat. And I'm like, it's good. I'll just run it.
Let's go.
And then
What
I
an
got compliments
inventor.
all weekend. Was like, wow, that's good tech. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I thought of it.
The hero Kemp needs.
That's amazing.
Dan Hughes complimented me on that both after Nashville and after Worlds when I used it to kill him. Good times. Oops.
Good lord.
Flavor text.
man.
Oops.
Man, we wanted our card to have a 1-check in the flavor text. Oops.
Yeah, that was the original plan. But then we realized our card was going to be like an action, so it was back to the drawing board after that.
Yeah.
Making one of those green actions that Jasco doesn't like.
Well, apparently now you do have the option to make a foundation or an asset, which I think is I'm not sure if it's a step in the right direction. I kind of like assets. I wish they had more design space to get explored, but you do have those choices now, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to have a choice like that.
Yeah, I guess. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, go ahead, Brandon. Sorry. Oh, I was going to say it's funny that you bring that up because I overheard a lot at Nationals that like Shane and Jason are kicking around the idea of just getting rid of assets altogether because a lot of times people either don't want to play assets because there aren't any good assets on the symbols they want to run, or they're too worried because there's too much asset hate in the format, or they're trimming down their deck and trying to optimize it and assets just don't fit into it. So assets are kind of, an endangered species right now, despite the fact that there are so many good champ assets. There aren't really a ton of good set ones you would run.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tough balancing act to strike with assets because with foundations they always have at least one good ability, and that's just path control track. Assets you have to play solely for what they do, and so there's been a lot of kind of like rubber banding in design of making assets that aren't better than foundations, like their abilities are worse than a foundation on one hand, and then they go too far and make it overpowered as shit to get it into your deck, and then now they have to print Spine Sweep to fix that mistake, and now that destroys all the fair assets. Like, I think Grandmother's Hairpin is one that actually comes to mind as like a totally fair, completely reasonable card that once you start playing with it, it's actually pretty awesome, but it's hard to play with swing that card driver around and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to comment real quick. Over the weekend, since our victory over the weekend, I guess Sunday and Monday, we already started talking about what we were going to do with the card and that we could have the option to build a foundation out of it. But we were putting so much stuff on this foundation because there's 3 of us, which is, I believe the old foundations were usually one person won a foundation and designed it.
Yep.
But with 3 people trying to work on the design, it becomes really hard to kind of balance in a way that everybody feels like they got a part of the card. And also, when I think of like champ cards and teams wise, I associate them with green cards. So I kind of want to lean towards building an asset for that reason. It'll be easier to design and get us all a good hand on it. And also, it'll look like a champ card that I recognize.
That's
Yeah.
kind of always been the trophy ever since I started, was assets.
Yeah.
Your trophy, your asset could be a literal trophy.
Yeah.
Right.
Mantle of
Yeah.
Champions.
No, I think that's a really good point about. I mean, we haven't. We've kicked around some ideas and gotten them all vetoed by Jason and Shane for my team. Canadian
Oh yeah,
Military.
hired guns.
Yeah, we're kicking around new ideas for the name even since I told Piglet that I want it to be a song lyric like the rest of my cards, which you guys should start doing too because trade your passion for glory. That card's awesome. You're the best around. I mean, everyone loved those cards. I think you might as well do it.
Caught rod-handed.
Caught red-handed.
Oh, yeah,
I
like,
will accept.
our,
That's
like-
close enough.
Yeah, like our cards are all going to be puns. Like our next one will be called like kneeling in church or something like that.
Oh my God, Bo already hates me. Let's not do this.
Oh my god.
Kneeling in church,
Kneeling in church, guys, because he played kicks, so like it works.
dude. All right. When we win Worlds, Pretty
I
Or
like
like
how
if
you
we
just
win another
stopped
one,
right
it could be
there.
Marco ... Polo, and you're all just looking for me on the card.
Yeah,
The
because we won
search for
Brian.
Rico's gold.
You
What?
died or
Get out of
something?
here.
Search for Rico's gold is also a good one.
Marco Polo, the search for Rico's gold.
Yes!
Oh.
Like
It
I'm on
wasn't
a
even
milk
10
carton and
minutes
I'm
after we
missing.
won when Marco was already being drafted by other teams.
Yeah, oh man, yeah, like Kirk Polko was like, yeah, like you should team with me and Devin at the next event. I'm like, man, like no one wanted me before. All of a sudden, Alex Marco's amazing. Let's pick him up for the squad.
Win one champ card,
Heck
the
that.
whole world
I'm
goes
part of Caught
mad.
Red-Handed. Exactly. Cheese wins a champ card and suddenly the world goes nuts.
Oh man.
Oh man, our champ card should be a yellow asset so it looks like a piece of cheese.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, you know, if they get rid of assets, they'll just make the gold itself, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
The card is Rico's gold.
The Velveeta Classic. Oh, we've killed Kevin Broberg. He's gone. We've lost him.
I'm just sitting
Oh,
here
cool.
laughing. You guys are pretty entertaining, and I didn't prepare notes for this show or anything, so yeah,
Me neither.
it's bad strategy
Well,
on my part.
That's totally cool. It was kind of impromptu. So
Yeah, pretty much. Awkward silence.
I guess-
as fuck.
I guess I do.
So,
have
Rodney, what was the best fight that you had?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I won teams finals. No, so I think
Yeah, actually, that's a really good one. So Jesse actually played Rikuo in singles as well, and like we thought we prepared Giggles' deck to beat Rikuo. Like he has throwdowns in his deck to block Tengu dives. So talk to me about that matchup.
sure. So I threw out a Tengu dive and he didn't block with a throw it down.
Got him. All right.
And then you won, right? Because it
There you
just
go. I mean,
kept getting-
that's straightforward.
I can actually go into that matchup. So game one, I win the die roll, and I was being really selfish. And by the way, the matchup that I'm about to talk about was the one that Jasco recorded and is going to put on YouTube for the teams finals.
Yeah.
They
I'm
said I had
really
the
looking forward to
spiciest
watching it. I
deck.
think it should be exciting.
I don't think I'm ever going to watch it, but I will tell you what happened. So
I mean,
game one,
You were there, so you don't need to watch it.
I
The
already
fish was
watched it.
this big.
So game one, I was being really selfish with my attacks because I had fought Matt Childress in top 4, and he was also playing Ryu. And the way I beat him was like being very greedy with not blocking with my orange cards and backswinging him, right?
All right.
So I tried that same strategy against Giggles, and I was holding like a +2 high block and a +1 high block and stuff that can deal with his cards. But I was like, there's no way he's killing me. I got 29 health. There's no way he's killing me. And then he throws a zing, and I was like, I think that kills me. So he got game one because of my greed. And then game two, I kind of heard Marco starting to not pop off at the moment, but Marco had grabbed a victory for us. And I was like, it's up to me. I got to get here before church gets here so I can prove a point, right?
Well, thanks, man.
You're welcome. So I started playing against him game two, and I believe that was a more back and forth kind of game. It was some good blocking on both ends, and we had some board that we probably shouldn't have had because we were both turn 2 decks. And then I just won the aggro grip before he did and got to pop him. And there was a really great moment in game two where so he had a perfect accuracy, and I was going to go into my kill turn on him. And he was looking at my 2 cards that did anything, which were I had 1 Proud Nose, I had 1 Flawed Energy Core active. So he's going to perfect accuracy one of these 2 cards, and I tell him to his face, I said, you should probably perfect accuracy my Proud Nose, because what if I check a 1, right? If I check a 1, then I might not kill you. And he was going to go, no, I'll stop the Flawed Energy Core, to which I said, well, you know, if you think your luck is as good as they say it is, you'll flip my Proud Nose and I'll rip a 1. Come on, man. And he flipped my Fly Energy Core, and then I played my next card, and I checked a 1, and I flipped my Proud Nose, and I was like, I'll recheck that. Thank you.
And
Mind blown.
I actually watched that part of the exchange, and you had like 25 freaking cards in your stage gear. Like
Yeah.
checking the one didn't
Yeah,
do anything to
It
you
didn't
either.
do anything, but when that 1 came up, I felt like it was storyboarded, you know? Like somebody
That was the,
scripted this match.
Oh my god.
No, he made the right call in the end, but I'm going to tell the story like the way I want to tell it. So I had 1 foundation ready, and I was like, Jesus,
No,
I...
like you completely he got in his head. That's like Giggles' biggest weakness is that if you start making him doubt himself, he screws his whole. Like he relies on his confidence to be able to play well, I think. And
I mean, I was just having fun with the guy.
Yeah.
Like I was stressing like crazy in that match because that was teams, and I was real hungry for the green card we're eventually going to make, and so I was talking to kind of like get all that air out of me. You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay.
I was
should not
like,
resize this window.
and then I was threatening him to like kind of poke at him a little bit and have a little more fun with it, but it was all in good, jest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely realized I was burrowed deep inside of his head for game 3 because he tried to smash into me on 3 foundations, and so he goes in with essentially lethal. And I had bounced one of his cards to his hand, so he had 2 Summer Heats and Ryu up. He goes for a Hurricane Up or Lethal on a 5 check, and he checks at 2, has to tap his board, leaves me at 5, and then I backswung him. And I think maybe he went that aggressive because I had, little mind games going on.
Good Lord. How did you make him check it 2?
I didn't make him check at 2, but I think he played way more aggressive in that 3rd game than he did in the previous 2 games.
As someone
Like,
who lost a PGC final to that Ryu deck, I don't know how you made him check it 2. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, so go ahead, Marco, because he has knowledge I don't.
The irony of all of it was, so I saw Giggles' hand, and he had a Flying Yamato Spear in his hand, which means there was already one out of his deck, and then he checked another one.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then it comes to my turn, and I also have 3 foundations, but I didn't check it 2, so I won.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Good work.
Good work, Rodney.
Well, you don't have 2s.
That's right. I do have 1s. They were still in the deck.
Marco, so tell me about what was your most exciting matchup as Turbo Man on the weekend?
Well, I mean, I gotta probably say it was playing Jesse in grand finals because we won the dice roll, and like before the matches actually started, I had talked to Church and Rodney. I was like, okay, first of all, if we win the dice roll, we're pairing Kim into Kula, because that's a terrible matchup for Kula. We felt like she's not going to want to negate the Kim damage pump because then the kicks just get faster, so she's not blocking them anyway. And we weren't really scared of the breaker. We thought Church could handle it. But then I said mainly like, Rodney, they're probably going to pair Napalm Man into me. So when you play Giggles, I want you to try to talk to him while you play. Like, don't be like rude or a jerk to him like, Phil Birch did in the past. But just kind of talk to him and kind of get him out of his mental, focus, get him off his train of thought, and see maybe not to trip him up, but just to try to get tells out of him, just to try to get, maybe he's holding a kill turn, so I should kill him now so he can't backswing me later.
And to be fair, that's kind of right up my alley because every game I play of UFS, I'm a very talkative kind of, I like to have a good time with the game. So,
but so going into my match with Jesse, so I had tested the Napalm Man matchup mainly against Piglet's list, which is 24 attacks and off fire. And I'm pretty sure Jesse was playing a variant of Chris Pratt's list from Michigan, which was 1 off a death and 2 only ran 18 attacks. So I'm like, all right. So the odds of him nuking me randomly on his turn 1 going second aren't nearly as high. But still, I had never beaten a Napalm Man. So I was like, all right, this is what we expected to happen. I believe, Rodney and Church are going to win their matchups because Rodney had beaten the other Ryu deck earlier in the tournament. So I was like, all right, Rikuo does well in this. Ryu doesn't block high. So I sat down to play Jesse, and he leaves me at 7 life, and it's going into my turn 2, and I'm like, all right, he's at 30. I had a turbocharge and a scorch wheel in my hand before I drew up my cards, and I'm like, all right, there's a splam. All right, there's another turbocharge. He left my extensive wardrobe on the field after my first turn. He didn't blow up my acid. I'm like, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So I just went, first form, drop less than magic, splam. He goes to Hakeshu of Death, a block back from his hand out of his momentum because he attacked me on his turn 2 because he went first. And I revoke it. And I'm like, all right, cool. He's paid 2 life. He's closer to dead now.
28.
He doesn't block the slam. I turbocharge him. I turbocharge him again. He blocked one of the turbocharges, and I drew a petrol powered off of it. I go petrol powered. I'm like, all right, I've cheated down 6 cards this turn. Let's play Scorch Wheel. I played the Scorch Wheel. The first Scorch Wheel killed him because all my attacks are now getting +3 floor because I have Turbo Man and I have Extensive Wardrobe.
Yep.
But I drew 2 more Scorch Wheels off the first one, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this is how it's supposed to go. Okay, cool, yeah. So we go to game 2, and like he sideboard. Like I only sideboard in one card. I'm like, I'm gonna sideboard in an extra copy of Templar. I'm gonna make this guy earn it. So like
Sounds about right.
he goes first, and he attacks me on his turn 1, like with an egg drop or something. And I block it with Templar. I'm like, I take 2, breaker 2, whatever. So now I have 8 cards in my hand. I'm like, I'm not gonna review anything. So he builds. I go into my first turn. I'm like, first form, put down Lesson in Magic, Spiders and Dragons, Psycho Medley on a 6, roll to 5, tap my Lesson in Magic, ship down my Spiders. I flip his Portal Barrier, so he can't reduce the damage. Like, he had a Diplomatic, so I knew I was going to get burned by that, but I'm like, I don't want him taking 1 less damage, so I'm going to flip his Portal Barrier. And then, I was like, all right, +2/+2, tapping the blank the face down Spiders with Turbo Man, pop it with Psycho Medley, ship down another Lesson in Magic, played a Scorch Wheel after that, and then just built cards. And I'm like, all right, this guy's at 13. Like,
Wow.
if he doesn't kill me here, I'm about to win.
Yeah, Psycho
And, like, he
Medley,
left
that
me-
is a piece of technology in Turbo Man that is so powerful.
Oh, that card made the team 8 days before the tournament. I went through 20 plus builds of that character, and Psycho Medley got on the final list. And that was the best decision I ever made. Like, because they're gonna burn their high blocks on your Scorch Wheels.
Yeah, look,
Like,
they need to
or
block
your
the Scorch
splats.
Wheels or they'll die.
Exactly. And then you're just like, all right, well, I got this not over yet in this Psycho Medley. God help them if I have momentum at this point. They're just dead. Like, I win. You are taking this 12 speed, 14 damage attack, and you're gonna like it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what happened. Like, he left me at 2, and then I drew up for my turn 2, and I'm like, all right, I drew Splam, Zing, Psycho Medley, and he's at 13. Like, he's tapped out. Like, I win. And I played it out, and like I plopped down the Zing. Like, I failed to call the right type of card on top of his deck. Like, I called Foundation like you're supposed to, and there was attack up there. So I'm like, all right, I really have to kill him now. And like, he's like, okay, pass. And I'm like, okay, you're at 6. I'll just turn this card sideways for +2/+2, so you can't block the Zing anyway. And he's like, he just kind of looks like kind of like someone like just watched their puppy die. Like, he looks so depressed. And he's like, all right, yeah, you guys are up a match. I'm like, all right,
in
cool.
10 minutes. Yeah, it was so fast.
Yeah. I've like, okay, again, I had never beaten a Napalm Man in any testing I've done with Turbo Man. And number 2, that was the fastest match I played all weekend. Like,
your
ran
deck
hotter
just
than the
gifted
sun.
it.
I didn't fail a check that entire match.
Jeez.
So, yeah, sometimes.
All right, Church, you're up. So don't even tell me Kula was the most exciting match, because that deck takes a hot minute to get going.
Yeah, apologies to Jack Hale, though I love playing with you. The match itself was not as exciting as many other matches. So
It looked
I
like
think my favorite
he had-
match
the
may
cloud
have
was in
been
full
my
effect that match,
loss.
though. You were
Yeah.
real bad.
Yeah, the Kula match was at least interesting. Of course, Kim isn't interactive, but the fact that Kula could interact with it, and the fact that I didn't interact with wanting to interact with Kula, made the non-interactivity into interaction in of itself, which was annoying. So our team started off with a tie. I mean, I won my match. Screw you guys, whatever. And then we lost.
I lost
Those were
that
our
match.
first 2. That was just a terrible way to start our adventure. But I think my favorite match was actually in our second round, the one that we ended up losing against Chris Pratt. It was my first time fighting him. And as I mentioned, Kim is very non-interactive. And usually when you're going off, your opponent just sits there like, am I dead yet? Because you're just watching Church play with himself. And it's usually not fun. So I like to make my turns...
right there, man.
Yeah, I like to make my turns at least fun for people. I figured out that apparently I have a catchphrase. When I reveal an attack, I'll just be like, yo, peep this. That's obviously not an attack. But, and I have all these catchphrases that I just spout out. And I just try to make it as entertaining for my opponent as possible. And I'll even cheer for my opponent, Like going against Chris Pratt, I did about 2 kicks. I was making him peep various things, and he was starting to feel kind of down because, I was whooping his ass. And then I checked a 1, and I'm like, oh, you win! And like a real man, I tap to pass all of this. And I just whop him for like 4 damage. And then his turn begins. And for people who don't know, Swordman static is after you commit a card in your opponent's staging area, Ready Swordman. I think it has to be their foundation, but something. And I realized I just accidentally hard countered Swordman. You can't tap my things. Your deck turns off. And then he just killed me with base attack stats.
Yeah,
Just threw
that was
numbers
pretty
at
fun.
me.
I'm sitting there watching that. I'm like, ah.
Get countered, loser. I checked a 1. And I lost.
Sometimes you
And
counter
then
them
in
and they still just kill
singles-
you. That's great.
Yeah, in singles, I ran the same deck, and Sam Tate, also one of the singles players, yeah, sure, also one of the Vegas players. He's known me for a while. We've played some matches. He sat down, and he knows that I played Kim before. And when he sat down, he said, "Oh man, am I gonna have to peep shit again?"
Yes. Popular. Let's go.
Man,
Yeah.
it's a peep show that's caught red-handed. Man, guys.
Yeah, we're like if a Reddit chat came to life.
I don't like that. I don't want to be that.
Okay, we're like if a Twitch chat came to life and then start on a show on Twitch about a team winning a card.
I just keep saying we're a big trash can fire, you know?
Yeah, we got burned by our automobile. Like I
There's
lit
like
the trash can
12
on fire.
puns on our card art that we were
Oh
already
man,
planning.
it's amazing. Like what is it now? Like it's me like throwing a fishing rod and the reel's coming towards the screen of the card.
That's right.
We're
Brian
like-
Harris is carrying you on his shoulders.
Yeah, like we're caught. Your card gets caught rod-handed by us.
We pull it right out of the carpool with the fishing rod. Nope.
And if Rodney's playing it, then you're getting caught rod-handed by a fishing rod, the rod on the art, and Rodney himself.
Yes.
And if somebody plays it against me, then they caught me rod-handed, which is even crazier.
Yes. And
We're idiots.
lest we
And yeah.
So, the proposed card art, just to spoil some stuff for you guys watching, is so we're gonna be like the Bullet Club, right? So I'm gonna be riding on Brian Harris's shoulders, like I'll be Prince Devitt, and he's gonna be Bad Luck Fale, and Rodney and Church are gonna be like the Young Bucks, so they're gonna be posing and stuff. And Brian Harris is gonna wear a bandana with a question mark over his face, because the running gag is it's always like Church Rodney question mark on a team, and like I'll have pulled down my bandana to reveal my face so you knew I was their teammate this time.
Today is the question mark. Tomorrow, who knows?
We are so deep in the memeing on this card, it is unreal.
Trash can fire.
It's like we knew we were gonna win or something.
I also really hate wrestling, but you know what? Fine.
Trash. Oh man, Kevin Broberg, we've thrown you off a little bit tonight, haven't we?
I can't say this is exactly what I expected, but I'm pretty happy that you're here. This has been great. I'm having a
Dude,
good
just
time.
hanging out with us for an hour is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's cool. You know, these are good UFS stories. You know, we're talking some strategy in between the memes, and that's all you
Sure,
can ask for.
sure we are.
I will say, ironically enough, since we mentioned singles with Church, like I played the exact same deck in singles, and I went 2-3 after 5 rounds, and I'm like, I have to play finals tomorrow for teams. I'm getting a little tilted because my deck's kind of shitting on me right now. I'm just gonna drop because, you know, it's not that I think Turbo Man is bad outside of a format where you can't pair him into good matchups. I think he just gets more exposed, like if the deck doesn't run perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the challenge I found just going through build after build with this character is like, if the deck runs exactly like it's supposed to, you win pretty much every game because you essentially get to play solitaire. If the deck falters even a little, like if you get a leak in your tire, if you know one of your wiper blades breaks off, if you have a brake fluid leak, like everything just falls apart. And I know I just made a bunch of car puns. If you don't like it, I really don't care. That was the best
puns. These are just analogies, and I appreciate that. I talk about analogies a lot. It's
I
good.
can describe it. Like Turbo Man is literally like playing that deck was like playing a finely tuned automobile. And if something went wrong, the whole deck stopped working. And I don't know if that's because it was my build, but I noticed that all the other Turbo Men that played in singles, like I think the best one was Garrison Burnell, and he went 4-3. Like it's such a really tightly wound deck, regardless of how you construct it, that like if one little thing goes wrong and you can't go off on the turn you're supposed to go off, like you just kind of lose.
Yeah. The character kind of loses relevancy after about turn 3 or so.
Yeah, no, like, and especially with my build, I didn't run slams. I was like, I don't want to play transform. That rolls a 4. It might mess up my kill turn.
Dude,
We'll play
but
over again.
transform is a 4-check attack. That's insane. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I have I
But then
thought
you have
about
to play
this. The
shitty
only
attacks. That's the thing.
Yeah.
exactly 99% of the slams, with the exception of Tengu Dive, are all really mediocre utility attacks. I tried playing Tengu Dive in Turbo Man for a hot minute because I realized, oh wait, Scorch Wheel's range, this works out well. But then it's just all right, well, I don't want to play 4 of this and then 4 turbocharge because then I'd be insane. And
There's insane, and then there's playing 8 ones. Yeah.
I found so once I got rid of the slams and once I limited my 1-checks down to just the 2 turbocharges, I was like, okay, now I don't have to play 4 Proud Nose. Now I don't have to play arrogant overconfident. I can get rid of the gimmicky and situational foundations and play cards that either 1, help me kill you, 2, help me in an offensive manner by negating your draw, caught red-handed stops Templar, so that helps me out. Or 3, just playing little small utility cards an 8K degrees, which can help me kill you, or which can help me stay alive the 1 turn longer that I need to backswing you. So, I mean, Kevin Broberg, you're the one who really did the final trim for my list because you told me cut the 4 high school crushes. They're not killing anyone. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean,
I definitely agree. I think that I remember I liked my deck, and I felt like one of the things that attracted me to it was that I didn't get any bad draws, but the trade-off for that was that I was playing really boring cards like Gyro Crush or Gyro Slam or whatever.
Good old draw as a cost. That's that's a thing. All right.
But I'm not blowing up Napalm Man on 2 with that deck. Not in a million years. So.
Yeah,
it's trade-off.
It's funny because I will say I looked at Mark Wisniewski's list after Michigan, and I looked at a lot of other Turbo Man lists online. I'm like, why are none of these guys playing extensive wardrobe? If anything, you're playing turbocharge. You want to get rid of those face down foundations somehow so they don't, remove at the end of the turn. Shopaholic is slow and it's a utility card. Why not just turn these face downs into damage? You're going to commit them anyway with Turbo Man. Make your attack skip 3 speed plus 4 damage instead of +2/+2. Win faster.
Yeah, I absolutely love extensive wardrobe. In general, just as a card, it's 1 difficulty, so you can play it out guaranteed early. It's got a 1 mid block when you don't want to build it. It's just great.
It rolls a 5. I'm honestly I know they spoiled the new Vincent Gray. I'm gonna play that in the new Vincent Gray. If I remove a foundation from my opponent's discard pile, I get a face down card to blow up with extensive wardrobe.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because they only share the good symbol, and that's not a symbol to anyone outside of Alex Marco.
I think that the good symbol might finally have some legs. I think it might finally be.
Yeah, I do too.
Because Marco is insistent on sticking it on our asset, so I'm gonna have to play it.
Well, that stop and I think what is it? Race Against Time. Good gets all these interesting, they're great early game defensive pieces, which I think Good needs because Good has always seemed like it's a turn or 2 slower than all the other aggro.
Yeah.
So.
Also,
it's not an aggro symbol.
This guy, I've been
symbol.
loving on Good. It's mirrored because camera.
Oh yeah, Mega Man.
3, yeah.
Yeah, love that on Good actually.
Good.
Have you built your own list, or you've been playing Jeremy Ray's list, or tell us?
Yeah, I've had my own list for a little while. It's all right. I mean, it's a fun deck, but I wouldn't bring it to a tournament or anything.
Yeah.
Although I did just pull 2 After Crushes this weekend, so that's going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah, you also got 2 shiny Mega Men in 2 boxes.
3 in 3 boxes.
Shiny boxes over here. Come on, 3 shiny Mega Men.
All of them are shiny Mega Mans, and I actually like that fact.
No, Shane's the best. I love Shane Duckworth.
I really wish they had shiny of all the characters. Just having 3 is so
they have
bummer.
shiny Dr. Wily.
I know.
Yeah.
Which is lame. You don't want regular Dr. Wily.
Get the fuck out of my show. Dr. Wily's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Oh man, I saw something so cool. It was turn 1. I guess it would have been turn 2, and it was Tag playing Dr. Wily against Mason's Kim. And Tag just goes all out and destroys all 4 foundations that Mason played on turn 1 by playing 3 Wily attacks, and the third one was Flying Fortress Buster. So he had to just keep destroying every foundation Mason had. And then unfortunately Mason was playing Kim with a Team Kim out, so he just killed Tag right after. Well, brought him to 3, but still.
Yeah,
I was going to say 2 other cool things about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Tag lost that game, and 2, Tag went 0-7.
Yeah.
Shout outs
It
to
was a
Dr.
cool
White.
deck, though. It was really cool.
Shout out
It's
to
just
Tagger
like
Dad.
a turn or two too slow for this current format, but I really do actually like the new Wily.
It's a good thing he has Evil and Water.
Hey, maybe those symbols
doing
won't suck
shout-outs?
someday.
Yeah.
We can do
You know,
shout-outs.
maybe if only some group of random guys could come together and make a card that makes those symbols relevant.
You're
But
gonna,
not good.
you're gonna ruin this. Like now, everybody's gonna expect this like OP freaking asset, and then we're gonna be like,
No, actually, it's an
this is-
action.
You're gonna be
No,
like
that's the
Rod.
trick,
You're gonna be like
Rodney,
as good as
then
the
they
Land
all
Games
get
and
caught
Hobbies.
red-handed.
It's gonna say e-commit this attack. It's -1 speed in the end. Watch.
The Julio tech.
Yeah, that's it. He would
Oh
play
my
that. He would play the hell out of that card.
But it's not a foundation.
Yeah. So we're
Ruins the point.
doing some shout outs. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, go ahead. Whatever. I'm just gonna babble on about asset design. Who cares?
Okay.
Sure. So we were talking about singles. I had a few great matches in singles. Because not only did we win teams finals, but I made top 16. So
Yeah.
High five.
yeah,
Overachiever.
thanks for slapping the camera at me. I appreciate it.
It's not a camera, it's my phone. I can slap
Okay.
that.
Fair enough. But
Look at my last
definitely-
one. It's garbage.
See,
Definitely
if you
some
didn't
of
slap your phones, they'd be better.
yeah,
Quiet,
Oh.
Kevin Broberg. Don't you
Let's
tell
play
him how to
Pokemon
live
Go
his
and
life.
just threw it.
definitely some of my best games. Were in singles that whole weekend, and actually one of them was a loss to Keenan Meadows, who
Oh, that match
Set.
was amazing,
Yeah.
actually.
we were in game 2. He had got game 1, and he was sitting at like 4 health, and I ripped a grip of like 4 shield ram and 2 Tengu dive, and I'm thinking these are all 4 damage or more. Let's see what happens. And he managed to block or heal through like every single attack all the way to time, and I was like, fair enough, you win.
Yeah, good work, Dimitri. Hey, the
Yeah,
life
like-
symbol I hear is pretty good right now.
It's good. But definitely that was a great game. Mason from Omaha with his Kim deck, he almost got me my second loss, which would have been last round of pools, but he forgot to multiple his kill condition, and I think everybody was just tired at that point. But he plays the Kim kick that multiples out, and he has a momentum ready, and he's just like, all right, so I give my multiple copies of this attack kick, and I'm like, okay, and he goes, I'm going to hit you with it. And I'm like, I take 4. And then he went to point at his multiple and realized he didn't multiple. And I was just like, oh, baby.
Kids today.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like that mistake kept me alive. But that whole match was definitely super interesting. He sided out from Kim into Robert. And I was
What a man.
Yeah, I was just like, he was giving powerful to all of his Kim kicks. And I was just like, oh, baby, all right.
I am on
And-
board. What kind of UFS are they playing in Nebraska?
And then
The kind
final
that
shout
can
out.
beat Napalm Man, apparently. It's
Facts. Well, that's what they play in Calgary.
Final shout out game wise was my first round, or my only round of top 16, where I lost to Dave Wagner. I won the die roll, but he won the I found 4 Heart of the Mountains, and I didn't take that match. But luckily, I got to go to sleep for finals
Yep.
the next day. So thanks, Dave, for putting me out to pasture, and congrats to Phil for taking the whole thing, and thanks to Jeremy Ray for Flawed Energy Core and Rapid Proto Buster, which went in my Rico list.
Yeah.
Like,
So.
if we're now gonna start shouting out people, like, I mean, not to get sappy to everybody that might be watching this video now or later, but like, this had been a hard couple of months for me for various personal reasons that, I mean, Rodney and Church know about, and like, just to, like, even before we won, like, just going into teams finals with everybody coming up and saying to us, like, I really hope you guys win. Like, you guys deserve it. You guys have put the work in. And then when we did win, like, I mean, Giggles ran up and hugged me. Jesse hugged me. Jack Hale hugged me. Everyone who I had met that weekend hugged me. Like, all the Atlanta guys were like, we're so proud of you. You finally got the job done. And I mean, they did the same thing with Rodney and Church. Like, everyone was so nice and pretty much just told us, it's like, there was probably no more deserving team here than you guys, and we're glad you won because you guys busted your asses and put the work into it. And I, like, not to sound like cliche, but for any new aspiring players out there, like, it shows, like, you don't have to play, like, obviously broken, degenerate stuff. Like, we had Rikuo on our team. Like, no one knew that stuff was broken until Rodney started running people over with it. Like, I mean, people might have had an idea about it, but they never like put it into practice. And like everybody was just like, you guys grinded this out. You put the work into it. You studied the meta. Like, you guys deserve it. And to everyone that said that to me or to my teammates, like, I really appreciate it. And thank you very much.
It really did mean a lot. Every single time someone told me you deserve it, it actually just really, it meant so much every single time. I'm getting all choked up now about
I know,
it.
I'm going to cry again. Like, I'm like, I'm going to cry again on stream.
Well,
I guess, yeah, I mean, I appreciate all of the same things, but I believe I only have like 2 emotions, so.
You were saying in our team shot after they took a picture of all of us, Marco and I are smiling, and you're standing there looking like a serial killer.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Why don't you
No,
bring that
That's
up?
what you said.
Yeah, I
was
can bring this
repeating
up.
what you said.
They had a nickname for me at thanks. They had a nickname for me at the game shop I go to all the time. Well, not anymore, but used to when I started playing UFS. They called me Serial because they said I always had a scowl, like I looked like I was a serial killer. I'm like, all right, cool. But, I mean, that's just my resting face, man. Like, this is me,
The resting fish face.
resting fish
go.
face.
Man,
So-
we are so bad. Kevin Broberg is losing all the viewers tonight.
Yeah, what our viewer count
He
is right
owes
now.
viewers.
Like, he is at negative viewers. We have to find him viewers for the next show.
Hold on, I'll tune in. I'll watch for you.
I'll be handing out pamphlets.
Yeah, I'll watch this episode.
Same.
Well,
I
it'll
hear
be,
it's a good one.
it'll be up on YouTube. It'll be up on the Twitch archives. You know, you can check it out.
I don't know the website for Twitch, so I'm not going there.
I'll send it to you. We have 5 viewers right now. Let's go.
Oh my god! So
I'm
we
not
got
even one
Rodney,
of them.
Marco,
Nope.
me,
I'm one of
Kevin.
them. I do have it open on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's
That's because
we
listen
kind
to
of
Kevin's
announced
facial
this
expression.
Tuesday night thing pretty abruptly, so hopefully we'll get some good
Yeah.
YouTubers going.
Do you have any more shoutouts, Marco?
No, I mean, I'm good. I know, Kevin, we kind of like hijacked your show from you, so I
I
apologize.
mean, no,
for that.
man, this is perfect. We're having guests, and you guys are the most deserving champions on the weekend, or I mean, 3 of the 4 most deserving champions on the weekend at the very, absolutely least anyone can say. And we were gonna have you on for your Turbo Man talk, and now, Keenan, Marco, and I, not Keenan, Marco, Keenan, Slam, and I, Keenan, Mark, without an O, just dumped on Turbo Man for the entire show, and then you proved us
Talk about how
wrong
bad he is.
in teams at least,
I mean,
if not singles.
You know, I'm gonna say like the deck ran like another match. I guess I'll bring up really fast. You saw the match, Church, is when I played Scott Sunman, and I went like, all right, Splam, and he kicks it out with Andy. I'm like, all right, Kersplat, Turbo Charge, Scorch Wheel, not over yet, Psycho Medley, and he just like he looks at the board and he's just like what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, are you dead? Like, do I win? He's like, yeah, I guess. And he just like looked like he was gonna like steal my organs later that night.
That Psycho Medley was like inherently 12 damage, 8 speed, with powerful
Oh,
4
best
stuck on.
piece of tech I
Oh
could
my
have possibly found. Like, Kevin gave me the
Yeah.
idea for Not Over Yet, and I'm like, I could play this into Psycho Medley and
Yeah.
kind of lose.
Put him in the ground.
Oh, I gave them their own shovel to dig their own grave.
On the contrary, I played a lot of 50-minute games.
Yeah, man, did you ever?
Yeah, like you are our anchor. Like, you should be an anchor for Halloween. Like, we're gonna get you an anchor tattoo in Vegas.
A lot of our team's matches wound up either Church being up and Marco being down, or the other way. But they would both like stand up at the same time and just look at me sometimes. And every single time I was still playing, I was like game 2, and I'm just like, God damn it!
We didn't 2-0 a team until grand finals.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that was
Every
our
other one was
2-0 win.
2-1.
And it's funny enough, my record personally in teams was our team's record. It was like
Yeah.
7-1-1 or something. So
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I was a
yeah.
pretty good anchor.
I mean,
You
if
were
the
by
team.
far the most consistent deck on the team the whole weekend. So
That's crazy, right? Who would have thought Rico had a great match against Ryu? Like, that was my scariest not scariest, but like most interesting find over the whole weekend because, like you said, he doesn't block high, but I also have 29 health in Templar, so he tries to
Yeah.
push all in like he could any other deck, and I'm like, I got 33 health. What are you doing?
Yeah, block one of these giant incels or Hurricane Up. Like, he relies on Hurricane Uppers, so block that shit.
Yeah,
It was
and,
weird because going into that, I was the Ryu guy. I had already fought 2 Ryus, including one in top 8, and I beat both of them. And then in top 4, he got matched up with Childress, and it went so well. We just thought, sure, you could probably kick Giggles a new face, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
that match was decided by him ripping the 2. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like when I saw that happen, I'm like, oh man, Rodney's about to win.
Yeah, and then when my deck saw that happen, it drew up and it said, "You're about to win."
I like that part.
Yeah, it's funny because like going in back to top 4, like I hope we're not dragging over time or anything, but like going into
No,
top 4,
absolutely.
we won the dice roll, and I'm like, all right, guys, I have no good matchups against Napalm Man like Dimitri, so I'm just gonna fight the one I feel like I can kill the fastest. So let me fight Dimitri. Like
That
we
is
won the
such a
dice roll
weird
and
thing to
paired me into
say.
Dimitri, and then
Of
like
all 3 of those, Dimitri.
first of all, like
and I
Keenan,
understand it
Giga, and
happened.
Childress look confused. They're like, wait, what? And then like game 1 against Keenan, I killed him on turn 2. I'm like, all right, this is going well.
Yeah, it made me
Apparently
happy.
Dracula loses to a robot that turns into a race car. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and that's the same game where Matt put me at 2 in game 1, and like, so I run the die roll, and I went to play my first card on a 2, and I checked a 1, and I was just like, looks like you're going first. And he built 4, then I reciprocated and built 4, and he said, I'm going to try to kill you, brought me to 2. I survive. I draw my hand, and I say, I'm going to kill you, brought him to 0.
Yeah.
And that,
You were
that game was
honest.
insane. Yeah, when I checked the 1 and failed my first card of the game, that actually led to my win because, Dives just says draw 3 cards, and I'm like, that's fair.
It's like, man, I flubbed a check early on. Who cares?
I think every time I checked a 1 in like turns 1 or 2, I wound up winning that game.
I believe it.
Yeah.
'Cause like Tengu Dive in your deck gives you outrageous comeback potential. Like, you don't need anything to kill someone with a couple Tengu Dives.
Oh yeah, and it was actually pointed out to me today. Christopher Nixon pointed out that I should try Hurricane Upper in place of Poison Dart, and I was like, "You're a man," because I just Hurricane Upper a dive to my momentum, play a rapid Proto Buster to bounce it to hand, Proto Buster clears, and then I win the game. Like
Yeah.
Which
what
makes
the
me
hell?
feel like an idiot. We had that in the old Rikuo we built on Assassination Attempt. And
We
for some reason, that tech never came over to the new deck.
We
I
had
assumed you didn't
Assassination
like it
Attempt.
because it's so slow and like it doesn't help them.
You assumed wrong.
no, I
The North
actually
was kind of nice.
I focused
Yeah.
on the Poison Dart because I wanted to run Superior Technique, which granted got me a lot of victories because I could grab up some of my really godlike high blocks to win some matches. So
Yeah.
Hey, Tengu Dive has a high block.
Superior
Yeah,
Technique
so,
is like really underrated just as a tech piece. I think like Napalm Man gives you an activation whenever the fuck you want it.
I knew Jeffrey was running Flying Yamato Spear, so I think in game 2 I responded with both my subtexts within turn 2 and 3, grabbed shield rams and just blocked them. So I could have went the Hurricane Upper route, but I wouldn't have been able to survive against Ryu.
Very
So I
nice.
guess it worked out.
It all just came together. Yeah. Man, what a weekend. What a blast.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Rodney.
Oh hey,
Hey, I know that guy.
In the game where we fought
appreciate it.
Jeremy Ray, Slam, and I believe their third was Marcus Singleton, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
XPL Adokness.
I know I've mentioned this before, but when you were just determined to kill the Iori so bad and you drop your hand, where every single slam is combo ranged, it clears itself, and you
I
look at
didn't
your
draw
hand
a
and you got
range.
ram, 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 dive, dive, and you're like,
Yeah,
well, I guess I gotta kill him.
it was similar to the Keenan fight, except this guy died.
Yeah, because he had 20 health and was Iori.
I believe the turn was Shield Ram on a 4, and I was actually laughing the whole time because I was like, the
Yeah.
absurdity of this. Shield Ram on a 4, he takes it. All right, cool. Shield Ram on a 5, he takes it. All right, Shield Ram on a 6, then on a 7, Tengu Dive?
Go. Yeah.
He's like, I'm dead, and I'm like, okay.
I looked over at your card pool and I said, did you forget how your deck works?
Yeah,
good
did you
sir?
forget the combo? And I'm like, no, it did.
Your character's just blank at that point.
Yeah, he didn't do a damn thing for that turn. That was just raw.
Tell no one.
Also, I want to shout out to Jeremy Ray for not murdering me in that match.
Oh,
because
mulliganed away his head crushes.
he
Oh,
mulliganed
wow.
away all like the best cards in his deck. My head remained perfectly intact, and I just drew absolute god. Like he was so angry at me. Like after I blocked with all my kicks and used some of them, threw them away, and on the next turn I drop and I've got all these 1 checks and 2 checks.
Oh,
And he
God.
just, oh my god, yeah,
That-
he looked like, to use an earlier term, like someone just shot his dog and then tried to feed it to him. Like I'm just the scum of the earth, and he knows it's not my fault. He just calls me the luckiest guy. And
Yeah,
Like,
like
I
Kim-
take it in stride.
Oh.
Kim ripping 1s and 2s off the top. That hurts. Like yeah,
When I had
I'm
already
so
gone
proud
through
I
like
forced
5
him to
attacks,
block.
and I just pull another hand of them.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all this effort I'm putting into.
I definitely want to bring up Mason again from Omaha because that was my first time playing against him. He was playing his Kim deck, and what a swell dude! Because
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
after he missed his multiple to kill me, I drew up a hand of gray, right? So I couldn't backswing him, and then he drew up a hand and he couldn't do anything on me either, and it calls time. So we were essentially sitting at a draw, and he looks at the Kim who won behind him, who then hopped around him. So he got knocked out of top. So he goes, "You can have the W because I just got knocked out of top 16." And I'm like, "Dude, all right." And then that made me bridge into top 16. So what a cool dude.
Man, they're raising their kids right in Omaha.
Yeah.
I take
So,
back everything I said 20 minutes ago.
very, very nice guy. Very interesting side into Robert. That kind
Yeah,
of
that's cool. I love tech like that where you just
He
sign
watched
into
the
a
boss
different
battle and
character.
got excited.
Yeah, that's what I thought actually when he signed into Robert. I was like, "Is this the Jason deck? What is this?"
He's gonna burn and blitz you.
It's his
Oh
sideboard
my
Robert
God.
for Burning Blitz.
Yo,
That'd be sick.
Burning Blitz Vortex, guys. That's the new kill condition. Play that in Balcor.
And I remember
That's a charge attack.
I was already like siding in my
Dang.
out of your league. I was already siding in my out of your leagues for the Kim response, and I remember as I was sleeving them, I look and I just saw Robert on the table instead of Kim, and I was like, "Huh?"
Let me
What?
put these back.
That Korean man turned
Yeah.
into a Mexican man.
How'd that happen?
Oh, I got a play of the day for you guys. Now, I know I already told my teammates. I may have told Kevin because I think he was standing there watching it and he laughed at me for being an idiot. But man, so in singles, I did not care at all. I mean, I was already in teams finals and I just put on my shades and I just sat back and if I kicked someone, cool. If I didn't kick them, that's life. And I was fighting Matt Maffei, and he was going in for like the biggest kill turn of his life. And I had already checked 3-1s on my opening first 2 turns, so I didn't have foundations. I had literally 1 card in my staging area that wasn't Kim, and he's coming in to kill me, and I know he's got to have this Scorch Wheel in hand, and I'm at exactly 11 health. He plays Petrol Power, drops it down. Now, that'll add 2 damage to his Scorch Wheel, and he's Yellow Devil, who adds 2 damage to his attacks. Perfect 11 damage. So when he goes for the response on the Scorch Wheel to add 2 damage to it, I out of your league it and say, no, you don't get to kill me on exact damage. You don't get to enjoy this. I go out on my terms. And then he plays the Scorch Wheel and kills me.
I love
Man.
it.
Can
I couldn't
just
even
talk-
pass a block.
Can I just talk about the and I forget his name, which is bad of me, but it was my first time meeting him. He knows who he is if he watches this video.
You know who you
The
are.
Tomahawk man I played against in teams.
Yeah.
Oh,
brought
that
out-
guy was super cool.
He brought out
Yeah.
poker chips to keep track of his speed and damage on his attacks. And when I saw the poker chips, I'm like, "Are we about to fight for my soul? Like, what is happening here?"
Gambling man's UFS. Like,
That
Like,
was
what's
so
happening?
cool.
He's gonna have a card in his hand. He's gonna say, "Do you think it's a high or a low attack?" And I'm like, "I think it's a mid attack, Tomahawk man."
like that guy too. It's funny you bring him up because the very first day of the event, he walks up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I know I don't know you, and I don't know if anybody's ever told this to you before, but you look just like Finn Balor." And I'm like, Nando is sitting 5 seats down from me. I'm like, "Hey Nando." He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "What's that wrestler I look like again?" He's like, "Finn Balor." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I guess other people have told me that before."
So now you're Finn Balor on our card art.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yep.
you go. And I haven't mentioned more shout-outs, right? But Ben Shoemaker and Piglet definitely make the list. Ben I played against in 2014 Vegas, which was one of my first real events. I had played in Louisiana's PTC and Arkansas's before, but this is the event that I got crushed because I didn't know what Flexible Body did. I believe that was
Oh,
2014.
Not good.
That's a bad
Yeah,
card not to
Some
know
people
what it
had
does.
that card. people had that card against me, and I was just like, oh no. And me and Ben played to game 3, and I remember he took out his character card after the game, and he wrote, "This, MFer has too many answers. God damn it, Ben Shoemaker." And then, like, ever since then, whenever we're at the same tournament, like, he's always been willing to, pull me aside, give me advice, like, about teams pairings and stuff like that. So I owe a lot to Atlanta in general, and I guess bringing up Atlanta, I'll bring up Piglet, who, if we do that champion versus champion match, I'm going to, beat the shit out of. But I owe a lot to Sensei Suplex. So, he knows what he did.
So, boys, how about that champion versus champion match?
I mean,
y'all want to throw down.
Oh my god.
Marco, you seem to be having some trouble coming to terms with the terms.
Well, I mean,
your deck got banned.
Yeah, like, let's see, Kevin Broberg.
Fucking sets in it.
You got to play DeForester Athena. Like,
I'll fight DeForester Athena.
All right, yeah, well, you can play Rikuo and get bodied by 10. All right, let's go.
We'll see who wins the die roll this time.
If we win the die roll, I'll pair into you, Kevin.
All right.
Piglet was all like, yeah, Marco, you're going to get bodied by Devin Bernier's Psyche cheese. And I'm like, nah, man, my Scorch Wheels are going to melt his cheese.
Like, he's going to blow up your foundation, and you'll say, okay, and just play a bunch of foundations on your kill turn.
Kevin, I believe in Vegas, we played towards the top tables when I was playing Bomb Man, and I think you told me I was one of the few to get a win off that deck, so I feel all right about this fight.
Hey, I mean,
Rico, you're not even Bomb Man anymore.
Rico is not Bomb Man.
Rikuo is not Bomb Man. That is very fair. You can actually probably block Rikuo, so that's probably bad for me.
And you don't have Showdown anymore.
This.
I walk into Showdown super hard. I don't know how to play around that card for shit.
Printed.
I'm bringing it back. When Showdown comes back, like, I don't know if I'm bringing Bomb Man back. I mean, I will for one event, but Showdown is 2x, 4x, anything in any deck I play.
I will allow you to add one copy of Showdown to your Rikuo deck if you want to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Off of death?
Yeah.
Don't remind him.
Oh man, cool terms. What a generous opponent. Like, you can put this card in your deck. Thanks, man.
Hey, it cancels the period.
Like in Atlanta, how someone let Garrett play how someone let Garrett play When the Moon Comes Over the Mountain as a 1x for one game, and he checked it on card 1, and he just looked so distraught.
Yep, get body, Garrett. I miss that card. Like, I miss that card so much. Bring that card back. 4 more years.
My When the Moon Comes to the Mountain story is that in the first fucking tournament it's legal, I get paired with Garrett in singles. He's playing Amy, and he's gonna moon for a leaping snap kick to reversal me and screw up my slice kicks turn, and he checks his one of triple bada in tempo, the weapon reversal. It adds +3 to your difficulty.
Nice.
And he blocks with a weapon and ruins my life.
Well, that's not good.
But he checked his 3 on his cards, so he had to commit a foundation, right? That's great.
Oh no!
Like Garrett has ever cared about having to tap one of his 40 foundations to do anything. Good lord. Shoutouts to that guy for letting me stay in one of his hotel rooms for free. But Garrett, I'm gonna let you know, man. You were talking all this trash about me and my teammates leading up to an event, saying we weren't gonna win. Church and Rodney weren't going to win. I wasn't going to win. And what happened, Garrett? You didn't even make top 8 or top 16.
Now, did you tell him?
These 3 amigos are on cardboard.
Marco, did you tell him that you had a Canadian building all your decks for you?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
And then he tried to make fun of Church, and I got even more mad. I'm like, I'm going to blow you up if I see you in tournament. You're not ready. And he got lucky, because he would have gotten Scorch Wheel, not over yet, Psycho Medley, and would have crapped his pants.
Let's go. I like it.
I think I got complimented by Garrett for the first time ever, because for the whole time I was running the Bomb Man list, he's like, oh, what a terrible gimmick. I wouldn't lose to that deck. And I'm like, hey, you probably wouldn't lose to this deck, Garrett, because you got a 1x answer to it in like every card you play or something. And but I think it's a fine deck. But then, with the Rikuo deck, he was like, I'm really proud of what you're doing and good job. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, man, like, that's so many people said they were proud of me. I'm like, man, guys, don't make me cry. Stop it. Like, I'm an emotional dude. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, let's go back to dissing Rodney or something.
Yeah, can we are we gonna heel turn now? Like, do I have to wear the leather jacket to all events and just we get to finals and we just give the games away so people hate us, Like you guys can win. We don't need another card. And then we're the bad guys.
I got an interesting Facebook message from a certain gentleman that won't be named who's asking what are the top 5 cards that I think are problems in this format.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to name who sent the message, but I will answer the question right now if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
let's
I was
go around
asked
the
the
table.
same question
Let's
today,
go on the
so,
table
yeah.
and close out the show. But
Yeah,
top 5
so-
cards that are problems in the meta.
Yeah, so in no particular order, I would say Napalm Man,
Yeah.
Summer Heat, Dimitri, Templar, and last is Navos. I have Navos on my list still because I'm like that is backswing the card. That is
Yeah.
like
Did that
for
card even
everyone that's
top?
complaining about
It got second.
What's
it got
up?
second. Never mind.
yeah, like I was gonna say like for everybody that's complaining about the format's too fast or it's too derpy or it's too RNG heavy, like lest we forget like at Worlds earlier this year, a deck playing Navos just sat there for 9 or 10 turns until it could kill you with a one-shot reversal Navos. And I'm just like, guys, that card's still a problem. It's not going to be a problem until it gets either rotated out or it gets banned. So, and now I'm looking at Church's ceiling.
Sorry, I was asked this earlier, so I'm just looking up my answers on Facebook. Hey, there's the
Okay.
side of my. Oh, we can look at that creepy doll that watches me sleep
Great.
again.
Oh my
just
god.
put that on
Number one
problem. That's good.
Replace naked Sean O'Brien in my nightmares.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 problem cards.
Ronnie, do you have answers?
I mean, this is probably something that I would change tomorrow if I had some time to think on it. I don't know if I have a top 5 off the top of my head, but I will say that this was my first event ever playing the air symbol, and I definitely think Summer Heat is a problem. Even though I won with it, it was also in the top 4 deck list in singles. So I don't know what that says. I mean, I know exactly what that says, but Artifice also felt very unfair. A little more fair than Summer Heat because it didn't ready it or absolutely do anything else. But definitely, me and Matt were playing, and I ended my turn with Summer Heat, check Artifice, cool, draw 2, and then he starts his turn with Summer Heat, check Artifice, cool, draw 2, and we're just like, what happens? Like, what is this?
What a country.
Yeah,
What are we even
so,
playing anymore?
I guess I would put those 2 cards on, something to think about, but definitely Summer Heat is a big issue.
Yeah.
I don't know, Napalm Man, the 24 attack deck is really, really ridiculous. But, I guess I didn't have a big problem with the 18 attack death version because I had 29 health, right? But
Hey, neither did I.
I was going to say, if you pair that guy into 7-handers, or if that guy fights 7-handers, it almost feels like 7-handers don't get to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't play 7-handers because I started with 6-handers and I got really comfortable with eating attacks to the face. But, 7-handers in general, yeah, I try that with 7-handers and I get rolled over.
Yeah, it does not work.
No, because you lose the bluff game, right? With 29 life, I could be like, I'll eat that.
I'll eat that.
But if
one.
I had,
yeah.
what I remember taking one mid 15 damage Ultra Clark Buster from Piglet at the Atlanta PTC, and I'm like, that's not lethal. If I was a 7-hander, I'd be like, oh god, that's lethal. And Napalm Man running around being as crazy as he is might be troublesome to having people play 7-handers, or do well with them. But to be fair, Dave made top 16 with a 7-hander, and Phil won with a 8 card, 20 health. So
Phil won with the life symbol.
Sure,
Facts.
but maybe there's Napalm Man didn't win anything, right? Perhaps he's not completely ripped in half.
That's 3, Rodney. You got 2 more in there?
Do
I
you
need
think
2 more
Ever
cards?
Hopeful is still a horrible card, or is it just
Yeah,
because
It was
this
top
one
5,
event
so.
was too fast? So
I think
that Ever Hopeful
Felicia
couldn't
is
be
still
good
a
anymore.
problem. I think Felicia is still a problem.
That's fair.
Losing to Felicia from Kevin Broberg in Atlanta definitely didn't feel good for you, just bouncing my entire board to my hand to where I could never draw attacks to fight you.
Yeah.
And I believe
that was a good game. Hey, to be fair, I did attack you on 1. That was grown up UFS.
Wait, nothing to pull away from that match. I'm just saying Felicia was definitely able to tear any staging area I would even try to put together apart. Yeah. And Felicia, we wanted to make a foundation, but we had the water symbol on it, and we immediately had to like destroy any ideas we wanted because like she has Delta Kick and momentum and could just pick it up and loop things forever. So like, you know, that presented a really big problem to any design we wanted to do, and when a character does that, that's kind of scary, right?
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
And then I guess if I had to mention a fifth card that I believe is toxic or bad for the game, maybe Shield Ram. I don't
know. Maybe
I don't think it's bad, but I honestly don't have a fifth. I
got a good fifth one for you. Summer Heat again.
Just name it twice.
Yeah.
Summer Heat on the front side, Summer Heat on the back side.
I just like the issue they had with Templar to where it might not have Breaker on it anymore because
by accident.
I think
spoilers.
I think that's a fair thing for that card because I definitely am not excited about Templar. Maybe Templar is my fifth card, right? But it's necessary against the super fast decks, but it just gives you too much of a basket to lean on. Like, again, first event playing air, so I would say, I don't have any blocks in my hand except this Templar. Oh, now I got like 2 blocks. I'm gonna live through everything, and I healed 2. And hey, how you doing?
Breaker.
And Breaker, you know. So
1/1 would be nice.
And I remember through testing any deck I had previous to Rikuo before this event, where Church and Marco would just have 4x Templar in any deck I'd play against, and I'd be like, "I'm gonna attack you," and they're like, "No, you're not," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yep. I'm happy that it's a reprint Red Horizon 3 because my playgroup has no Templars outside of me. And you ain't touching my white Templars. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's I don't believe Templar is like a super big problem, but I don't have a fifth card that I think is ban-worthy on my mind at the moment, and I would just talk about Templar in that spot, right?
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be ban-worthy. It just has to be something you don't like that you think makes the game
problematic.
Yeah. Let's see what I can come up with for 5.
What you got, Church?
There's
one I'm remembering now that no one said yet, but I'm hoping Church will say it.
If I have a fifth one, I'll bring it up.
It is not Scorch Wheel. You leave that card alone.
I kind of wanted to say Scorch Wheel, but I'm really not sure. I think it just might be a product of this turn 2 derpy aggro, where you can drop it down on a 5 and get 7 damage out of it, even if you played 6 attacks. It just reminds me too much of Kasumi Suzaku, which was just so free.
Yeah.
I mean, this you have to hard check a 5, but that's so difficult.
Well, to completely hijack your slot and talk about Scorch Wheel for a sec, I think that like the biggest issue with Scorch Wheel isn't so much just that it's an efficient card on 2, which it is, and you can have the derpy kills on 2 and whatever. What scares me about Scorch Wheel is trying to play a deck like Sinco against Scorch Wheel, or a Dimitri or something, and not having an answer for it. On turn 4, you just get completely, utterly overwhelmed by that card advantage from it. You give Turboman the time to stack up his perfect hand, and then he drops it on you and draws 2 new perfect hands, and then you just can't possibly win those games. And that's the thing that troubles me about Scorch Wheel. It has the flex, it's got some consistency issues, which to me really just means it enhances the RNG nature of the format. You get the wrong pairings and they get the wrong draws, and you're going to lose any match you sign up for. And maybe that's probably an exaggeration, possibly brought on by playing Sinco, which isn't the most powerful deck. But there's a lot of matches in UFS right now that just who has the better draws is going to win.
Yep.
Especially if you're not playing. Go ahead.
I got a fifth card now since I had some time to sit on it, and I played it and won many games with it. But perhaps Tengu Dive should be watched a little bit,
Yes.
Who knows, boys?
That card
is ridiculous.
That card definitely said I could play a promo character that really didn't do much unless I was winning the game, and refill my hand forever, And the fact that a team's deck and the singles deck won with it, I want to say is complete coincidence at this point. But maybe that card would cause trouble in the future,
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, Church, your top 5. We've dodged you long enough. It's your turn.
Dodge first up. No. I almost kind of want to put Templar on it too, I mean, you've got cards like Out of Your League and Revoke, which should be around just to add some nice counterplay to specific abilities. Templar is more like a counterplay to trying to win, which
Yeah.
just seems like an odd thing to say, but I think that's exactly what it is.
Counterplay to mid attacks.
Counterplay to UFS. Like, I wanted to win
if your
this
opponent
turn.
plays a
Nope.
4 damage high attack, you still take nothing from it, and they feel like their effort's kind of gone overall. I don't know if it's really necessary. I would have been happy if it cycled. It had its time, but sure, it's going to be around for another 5 years after it's already been around for 6. Why not?
4 more years.
4 more years.
We already mentioned Napalm. Jason admitted to us that Napalm Man was kind of an accident and shouldn't really exist in his current form. So at least it's acknowledged. Piglet actually didn't really lose with him until he lost in top 4 of singles. Like, he beat me in top 4 teams. Thank you guys for carrying me there. I don't think he lost through the entire event.
I thought Piglet was going to win this event and like not drop a match. Like,
Yeah,
I thought
same
that
thing with Jesse Cervini. He also didn't lose.
Destroy everyone. And Napalm Man was all over teams and winning all over teams, and then just not many people sign up with him in singles. And Marc LeBlanc pulled the rabbit out of his hat with this fucking insane Felicia tactic of not playing any foundations and playing 5-chick attacks and just riding that +2 to my control checks to victory.
He'd play foundations and then play the big Robert kick and blow him up, so he wouldn't have foundations.
Yeah, like I tried testing that matchup against Jesse, and I didn't have that strategy, and I was like, I've never actually rage quit a deck before Thursday night before Nationals. I couldn't deal.
I think I want to put Felicia on my list as well. I still genuinely believe that she's the best character in Standard, give or take maybe Jiffany, and also the fact that this current meta is so derpy turned to aggro that Felicia's just kind of pushed out of it, but she still made second place, and she's still amazing. Yeah. And she still gets to play the next card on my list obscenely well, which is Ever Hopeful. She can play on, I think, every symbol it shares with her, which is pretty nice.
It's her card.
And, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. It's got that momentum cost, which she does not care about, ever.
Nope.
So it just feels unfair to fight against an Ever Hopeful deck that's able to get that much momentum. So thank God there's so many huge attacks, like Natalie Dragon Flaring on 1, and you're taking 10 damage.
Yeah, but would you argue that the Ever Hopeful, you wanting to put that on your list is because of Felicia, or, is there more you want to discuss about it?
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. I did actually bring an Ever Hopeful deck to Nationals. I brought a Slashman on air that's just supposed to sit there, get some momentum, and play Ever Hopeful a lot. And I'm trying to figure out if I think it's busted because of Felicia or not.
I will say
one of my friends here played a Quickman deck, which wasn't exceptionally good, but it played Ever Hopeful really well because it was still on the air symbol. And it was able to scoop up my staging area even just on any turn it felt like it, just because it was able to generate momentum. And so I guess it might not even care about the character, but it just is even better in her.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't care about momentum.
I definitely, when you played that Slashman deck against me in testing, I felt really annoyed that you had 18 foundations, and then I looked down and had 0.
Yeah, it can do things.
So perhaps you are correct. Continue with your list.
So that was 4, right? Ever
Hopeful. That was 3, I believe.
That was 3.
Oh yeah, Napalm, Ever Hopeful, Felicia. I'm doing fingers, so just over here.
You did say Templar too,
Templar?
I guess.
Yeah, I'll count Templar. I mean, they're not in any order. I'm just kind of naming them in some random order because number 1 is Summer Heat. Those 2 through 5, they can be wherever they feel like. Ever Hopeful, number 2. But yeah, Summer Heat. It just... There's no risk anymore. I saw Rodney check a 1 trying to attack into Dave, and he's like, oh, no big deal, and just taps a few Ever Hopefuls. His turn ends.
Summer Heats.
That's how much I hate the card.
I'll just tap my 4 Ever Hopefuls, it's fine.
It comes right into conversations it's not even a part of.
See, that's why you play Mathematician like Phil Birch. You get +8 damage when your opponent has 4 Ever Hopefuls in play.
Yep.
He just tapped all of his Summer Heats. His turn ends in a little bit. All of them ready. He's got nothing committed. Good work, man. You played UFS to the best of your ability.
Check the 1, tap these 4 cards, they're back, it's fine.
You've got 1 checks in your deck for big risk, for big reward, and there's no risk because you're playing Ever Hopeful. So Summer that Heat. Might be, you were thinking
Summer
maybe
Heat, yeah.
Tengu
Church named the wrong card.
Church really wants Ever Hopeful banned.
Yeah, you... I'm
I'm not even tired.
surprised.
I've been awake for 2 hours.
I will say, like, I know I didn't mention this card, and like maybe I'm overreacting with this one because I think after rotation it loses a lot of power. I'm surprised no one mentioned Ryu.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Matt
I was
Childress
considering
didn't
it,
lose
yeah.
until top 4 of both events.
Giggles didn't lose until a different Ryu beat him for
Exactly.
diversity by
Like
fighting
Giggles,
him one-on-one.
Giggles
Yeah.
lost to like the mirror match, which is a
Yeah.
coin flip, and then didn't lose to the only deck that beat the other Ryu, which was, or one of the 2 decks that beat the other Ryu, which was Rikuo. Like, yeah, like maybe once pick on some of your own size and Heroes Training and Zing rotate out, it won't be as bad. But like, this guy turns the gray cards in his hand into damage and guarantees he passes his next card he's playing this
Yeah,
turn.
the damage probably shouldn't be as high. I understand the risk of him, of you're getting away with your hand, so in theory you shouldn't be able to do as much. You know, minimal risk for very high reward is the difference there, I guess. He's just got free draw everywhere.
Yeah, the fact that I think that the card that is really going to kill our current build of Ryu, which certainly won't kill all builds of yeah, I want to call him Rikuo. All the builds of Ryu, because the first builds we saw were all good decks with Rain Flush and just dunking people onto. I think it's going to be Eden Cells that's going to finally kill him. Like, losing Zing is going to hurt. None of the builds play more than one pick on someone your own size these days.
Well, because Giggles
Hero's
is Giggles,
fine.
and he'll draw it on turn 2, and it's perfectly fine. at
I mean,
1x.
Artifice Avarice, I think, really pushed that card out, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ryu is definitely extremely good. I had an extremely close match with Giggles, my stupid tier B, like B- tier Sinco deck, but couldn't quite.
Hey,
clutch
don't be
it out.
dissing my dead waifu there.
Dude. You should have played her in the fucking nationals tournament. She's mine now.
Yeah. Did you top?
Barely. I punched her. I'd have been in top 4 of teams.
Yeah.
I dropped
The meta's
anchor.
really gone out of her favor, but I still love her.
I
I
dropped
mean,
anchor.
if
Dude,
the game
dude,
slows down a bit, I'll go right back into playing
Dude,
her.
she gets game night. You just have to luck sack into it onto. You just have to check that.
Game night, boys.
It's not. No, it's not
She gets
game
lots
night.
of fun
It's Evil
stuff.
Imposter. I'm sorry. Game night's unique.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say,
still
like,
have to play
you
it.
are probably cheating.
Evil Imposter is a card that's going to show up in some lists after this event. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, the Scorch Wheel Turner offer.
Yeah. So thanks to
Response
you
to
guys.
Tengu Dive is blank.
I think I have a pretty good top 5. I hate Artifice Avarice more than that's number 5. That card's fucked up. It's just stupid.
Yeah, that card's
I
really
just
weird.
wish we didn't have it. It's not like it's overpowered or broken or anything except maybe in Ryu, but it's just stupid. It's
Yeah.
just
You don't use it for anything else. Like, it has an actual ability on it, and I never see
What?
anyone play
It
it.
does.
Dude, play-
I was playing an order deck and I didn't know.
play Lightning Judgment and tell me that. That card's like Lightning Judgment is like the most underplayed card in Standard. Not kidding. It is
I
the most
actually
underplayed
love
card.
that card though.
It is so good.
Fair. Agree.
I got it in this Mega Man deck next to me. You flip a Mega Man off of it, plus 6 damage.
Dude, like you wanna have a game plan against Napalm Man, just like go turn 1 not over yet, build a bunch Lightning Judgment. You just won the matchup against Napalm Man. He is dead. You put him in the ground.
So you said build a bunch. You're incorrect.
Okay,
You're
you're
supposed
right.
to go in with just
You're
no
supposed to
foundations.
you're
Yeah,
supposed
every
to
the
play
single
great
not over yet
turn.
ones
and then
don't
play
kill
Lightning
people,
Judgments.
Kevin.
I'm sorry.
Yep, great cards do not kill people, except in Ryu.
Well, not over
Facts.
yet. Lightning Judgment kills people. So that's all you need. Anyway,
That's true.
Anyway, I think Ryu and Napalm Man are net negatives on the format.
Yeah.
Ryu a little less so. Napalm Man is just disgusting. Ryu is painful, but he lets you play the game. Our
Yeah,
top
you
5
can beat Ryu through blocking.
is top 5 cards we wish didn't exist that weren't in the format that harm the format, whatever you want to call it. I think number 2 is Scorch Wheel because of what I said earlier about it. That it does degenerate things at a high level of variance, and so you have more non-games where like the opponent just doesn't draw any of them, and then you have more non-games where you get nutted on. I don't like either of those.
It's
Yeah.
a Zing that draws more copies of itself.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
that's
perfectly happy playing that in Athena and playing it as my 6, 7s, and 8 attacks because they're still on a 5.
You should play it in C
Yeah.
instead. Because C's gender male is a better ability than Athena.
He
cheating
does
something.
have a penis, and you can draw
Yep.
cards because of that. Welcome to 2016.
The patriarchy won again, boys. They banned.
Yep.
Athena hit the
glass
glass
ceiling is real.
so they had to ban all of her. They had to take all of her toys away, and then give some guy a dick
Are
and have
there-
him get all the stuff for it.
Are there any gender female abilities in this game
Yeah,
right now?
dude, King has one.
Marco.
The dude who plays King.
I was like, wait, what card of Kings is...
Discriminated by gender.
Oh wow, that's hilarious. The one card in the format that has an ability for chicks, discriminated by gender.
I
where
believe,
a woman
I believe
is
that's
getting
the actual card.
sexually assaulted by Joe Higashi.
Wait, I believe that's the actual card. Let me.
No, it is. You're right.
It is. Well, I'll pull it up for you all.
I've used that card a
it
lot.
sure
It's really
is.
good. It's
Oh,
a perfect
man.
proxy for Wall
Like
of Goro.
Joe
when you don't have
essentially
it.
just beat up that girl in an alley and took her purse and is getting cheered on by a crowd. Good work, Japan.
We gotta pull this up for everybody here. We're going
Oh,
over,
man.
so we'll probably end soon. But
All good. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin soon. It's past my bedtime.
Oh, I'm
let's
sorry.
go.
If you catch that on stream, your viewer count goes up.
Oh yeah, like if I can transform into a pumpkin by playing the card transform.
Whoa,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
this card's
It's
great.
a real.
This card gives your
It's a
your
real
first
race
flat
against
stun
time.
1.
Oh man.
If only Hikaru could play this and give his fire and water and life attacks stun 1 too. Then
I remember Bo Tucker building some crazy like Eligor deck with like 4x of that card. Wait, the gender female is the stun one, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, point is, then he had a female, but he had a crazy life like reversal deck that had all of the stun cards, like the J Talbane one.
Dude,
That
quick and precise.
I can't-
Quick and precise Athena is
Oh, yeah.
naughty.
It's a really good card, but I've never seen someone who fell in love with it more than Bo Tucker.
Oh
yeah,
my
he
God.
wants the days of Vespera back, but only for
Yeah.
himself.
Dude, you played an Athena. You have Summer Heat the character, then you have Summer Heat, and then you have Templar, and then you just draw a million curse flats.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Shut up, Kevin Broberg.
Alex Marco, discriminated by gender, gives Tornado Hold stun 1.
Oh baby, y'all. By the
We
way,
broke
y'all
it.
aren't ready. Y'all aren't ready for Tornado Hold Jada. By the way,
We.
Boy.
I will play it on my turn, then put it back in my hand, then play it on your turn, then sagacious it back to my hand, then play it on my turn.
Wow, and then Ready Sagacious? Okay.
You better have a low block somewhere in there, champ.
I only run 4.
Jesus Christ.
Tornado Hold? Yeah, I do too.
No.
No,
Low
low
block.
blocks. I remember
Oh,
my
yeah.
bomb man list only had 4 low blocks, and in Vegas
Who
we had the.
blocks?
I fought a
Blocking's for
Shinto.
squares.
I fought a Shinto.
I just won teams with 4 low blocks and 6 high blocks. I'm not proud
So-
of this.
The dude had like an
That's-
all low attack lineup, and I had like 3 to 4 cards in hand, and of course none of them had a low block because there's 4 in my deck. And he punched out of his kill turn because he's like, this man's gonna block. And at the end, I was like, dude, I didn't run any low blocks in this deck, and he looked like the look on his face was just like, who are you?
I remember you were telling me you did have the technology for low blocks though, where you would block with
I did.
your like 4 spiders and dragons, and then reverse them
Yeah.
with your stupid high blocks, and then powerful assassin, right?
I definitely
Yeah.
would.
Oh, dirty girl.
So I had eight low blocks, you know.
Yeah. Killing
Conditionally,
spiders
like
twice.
4 of them only work. if
The
you're doing
spiders
other
were
ones
4,
first.
the dragons were 4. There you
That's
go.
like when Omaha did a deck profile on the Rikuo, I started putting the list out, and I had 2x of Phobia, and I got to look like, what? Why are you running 2x of this card? And I was like, this card doesn't kill people.
Yep.
Go.
Just like High School Crush. There you go.
All right, guys. I think it's time to call it a night. Any last words for the viewers?
Peep this.
There you go.
There you go.
Let's go.
Rodney, you go next because mine will make people cry.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
The field.
Mine won't make anybody feel any emotions.
Yeah. All right. Never mind. I'm a monster. Sorry.
We're gonna have a champ card out as soon as we can get it together. The artwork is already pictured in our head, and I have an artist who's gonna start working on it this week. And we don't want to have one of those 3-year breaks in between victory and having a card on the table.
Let's all just stare directly at the screen where Kevin Broberg
You're
is.
talking to the wrong guy, friend.
Right, but I don't know. So our
Kevin,
goal is
what does your character do?
our
They won't
Our
let
goal
me
is
make
to
it,
get
so I don't
something.
know.
Our goal is to get something out that's like fun and playable, but not auto 4x include, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're kind of discussing it very heavily on how to make a fun little tech card that people will splash one or two of, but will still be played at, potentially top tables. So I can be sitting there and hear, "You just got caught red-handed," and I can just go,
Yes.
"That's me. I'm over there." So
All right.
those are my last words. We'll have something soon if we can. And go ahead, Marco.
In closing, I just want to say one, thanks to Rodney and Church for inviting me to team with you guys this year. It was an honor and a privilege. Hearts to you guys. Thanks for everybody, including you,
Not a
Kevin
heart.
Broberg, for all the nice things you said to me, and to us. Just the whole weekend, just all the support was overwhelming, and just thanks to UFS, man. Like, we may harp on this game and like bash it from time to time, or more often than not, really, and complain about the format or whatnot, but like, it's more than just the card game. Like, the community is incredible. Like, it's the best community for any game, whether it's fighting game, CCG, like tabletop game, any game I've ever played. Like, best community ever. Shout outs to Shane and Jason and JT for working their butts off this weekend and putting on a great event. And just, shout outs to you guys. Y'all rock. Thank you very much.
Shout outs to Brian Harris.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with us, man.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back on Top Deck Heroes next Wednesday. Good night.